back. My first guest has won a dozen Emmys for his work as a sports announcer and a talk show host. This Friday, you can see the season premiere of his HBO show, On the Record with Bob Costas. Please welcome Bob Costas. What is that song? What are you playing?
My new theme song?
Yeah.
New theme song for you.
What was it?
It's called Questions 67 and 68.
There you go. Okay, there you go. It just sounded like the king had entered the room. I was like, I'm thinking like, he's a guest. Why is his theme song much better than mine? Mine's like... And then, Buddha walks into the room suddenly. Wow.
I thought it was entirely appropriate myself.
Yeah, I know. You were like, yeah. And my crown and scepter, where are they? I'm going to start by complimenting you. I feel that's the best way to begin any interview. You look beautiful.
Otherwise, I'll walk out.
Exactly. You could go at any time. You're a hothead. You have a broad appeal. You work primarily in the world of sports, but people from all walks of life seem to know who you are and seem to appreciate your work. Is that true? You have fans all over the place.
Well, you never know who's watching and for what reason they might like you.
Yeah.
There was a serial killer some years ago in New York named Larry Davis, and he was blowing people away all over Manhattan. And a writer friend of mine bumps into me in a saloon, this is like 15 years ago, and he said that he had just come from interviewing this guy, Larry Davis, in his prison cell. And he had informed him, you know, there's only two dudes I want to meet. One is Michael Jackson, and the other is Bob Costas, because that guy cracks me up.
So you know, that would frighten me if I knew that this guy's like, I want to meet him.
Yeah, but not as much as this, because at least he was behind bars. Some years ago, I'm having dinner in Little Italy with some friends of mine from St. Louis, and it's late at night on a weeknight, and there's hardly anybody in the restaurant. And I look up, and in walks John Gotti with two of his henchmen.
Right.
And the maitre d' and the waiters practically abandon everybody else. They all but drop the pasta in your lap. They go running up to this guy. They practically kiss his ring. You know, he's wearing the $2,000 top coat and the shiny suit. And they lead him to his table, which wasn't far from mine. And now everyone in the restaurant is buzzing. Gotti sits down. A few minutes go by. Waiter comes up and says, Mr. Costas, Mr. Gotti would like to buy you a drink. Now, I don't drink all that much, but this falls into the category of an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah.
So I say, okay, bring me some Chianti. They bring over a bottle of wine. I look over at Gotti. I say, Mr. Gotti, thank you. He says, Bob, I like your work. Now, what am I supposed to say? I like your work, too?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice rub out at Smart Steakhouse. Very efficient. Minimal disruption of service.
He planned it out entirely, yeah.
So I say, well, thank you. Have a nice night. He leans over to his henchman. He says, Bob Costas, sportscaster. So I lean over to the people I'm with. John Gotti, mobster.
Yeah.
More or less evens out.
Sure, so it was very nice.
You notice I waited till now to tell that story, though.
Yeah.
Now that he's not with us anymore.
Right. You don't want to do it while he's still around and can get irritated with the way you're talking about his suit. You said it was shiny. He might not have liked that.
Yeah, he was the Dapper Don.
Yeah.
Well, it was a magnificent suit.
Yeah.
Just in case his tailor is upset. It was a magnificent suit.
Well, I'm sure there's still a lot of Gottis running around, and I just want to say, God bless you guys. You're starting my car tonight. Ever driven a Pinto? You're a bit of an actor as well. You've acted in the movie Basketball. We've talked about that before.
It's top quality work.
You were in the movie that has my favorite title of all time, Pootie Tang.
Yeah. I thought I needed to increase my street cred, and Pootie Tang did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just saying Pootie Tang can increase your street cred.
People ask me which was my finest performance, and that's like asking Meryl Streep to distinguish among any of her Oscar-nominated efforts, or asking Jimmy Stewart what she prefers.
Right.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, or It's a Wonderful Life. I just let the work speak for itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
The music up front really did delude you, didn't it? Well, now you're acting in this. You're doing a promos for your show, and you've taken it up a notch. You're acting up a storm.
It's a film noir type thing.
Yes,
Conan. I thought I should branch out, let the artiste come out.
Let's take a look. Enjoy.
Yeah, I'm a dick. A private dick. A detective of sorts. I ask the tough questions. And Friday's a good night for answers.
Wow. I couldn't even tell if that was you. It was such a wide shot.
I use a number of body doubles just in case.
Very nice. Now,
We recruit them at local junior high schools.
on the record with Bob Costas, you're on, this is a cable show.
Right.
Cursing's allowed on cable. Do you ever find it necessary, because you're such a pro, do you ever find it necessary to curse? Because you can.
Yeah, you can. You can on HBO, and the guests will toss it in there if they feel like it. There was one occasion, Don King was on the show. And, nothing phases Don King. Right. You roll out, here's a list of federal indictments. Oh, but I beat the rap every time, and nothing knocks him off his stride.
He's a cheery fellow.
Yeah, he's cheery about everything.
Yeah.
And explained cheerfully how he took the juries who twice acquitted him. They mysteriously showed up at the next fights he promoted. First-class tickets, luxury hotels, ringside seats. It's the American way.
He's being polite.
Exactly. So after about 20 minutes of this, I said to him, Jack Newfield, the great writer, once said, if bull were poetry, Don King would be Shakespeare. Mm-hmm. It seemed like an appropriate thing to say, because, in that case, bull kind of captured it. And he didn't
have to say it twice. You could have just said it once.
Yeah.
You just keep throwing it in left and right now.
Conan.
All right, well, there you go.
All right. So King then says, without missing a beat, well, if there weren't bull that makes 4, the flowers couldn't grow. So he was happy about the whole thing. But I'm speaking now.
You could use other kinds of fertilizer, Mr. King.
I guess
that would have been my response.
Well,
Mr. King, there are other kinds of fertilizer. That's why I don't have a show like that.
This question I note about boundaries comes from a man whose show features the masturbating bear, Hemorrhoid Raymond.
His name isn't Hemorrhoid Raymond. His name is Preparation H. Raymond.
Oh, all right.
I would never. Let me tell you something. Bob. If there's one thing I believe in, it's quality. I will never do a character called Hemorrhoid Raymond as long as I live. It's Preparation Raymond or it's nothing. That's my goal.
I didn't realize he was the antidote, not the disease.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We think everything through very carefully here. You sicken me.
And is he really the self-pleasuring bear rather than the masturbating bear?
I just call him the bear without restraint. That's what I call him. I think it was you who coined the phrase masturbating bear. What happened here? You have such a class, and then you come here, and it just all gets ruined. People are watching, are saying, "Oh, Bob Costas, I like that Bob Costas. He's such a pleasant, classy man to watch." And then you're here, and just filth.
I think
it's bull. It's masturbating. It's left and right. And I'm calling an end to it right now because I just can't take it anymore.
It goes on the same reel with basketball and Pootie Tang. It's all part of a self-destruction plan.
I love my Pootie Tang. Now listen, fellas, can we do me a favor, Bob? I'm gonna throw to a commercial now. Can you play that same song again on the way out? Because I want Bob to hear it one more time. It's so fitting for a man of his stature. The new season of On the Record with Bob Costas premieres Friday night at 11:30 on HBO. All kidding aside, always a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Great man to have on the show. Bob Costas, Rachel Weisz. Coming up, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. Fine show tonight. Fine show coming up tomorrow night. One of the best actors around next to you, sir. John Malkovich is going to be on the program. That's a cool guest to have. From Saturday Night Live, very funny guy, Jeff Richards is going to be here. And musical guest, The Used. So watch that show. What else you got to do?